In the vast, unforgiving expanse of space, humanity had always been an afterthought. The three great galactic civilizations, the Orbital Collective, the Quantum Dominion, and the Stellar Confederation, had long viewed Earth as a primitive backwater, a planet of insignificant beings barely worthy of acknowledgement. Captain J. Park stood on the observation deck of the research vessel Horizon, his dark eyes scanning the holographic displays that flickered with intercepted alien communications. Years of diplomatic humiliation had taught humanity a painful lesson. Every galactic conference, every attempted negotiation ended the same way, with condescending laughter and dismissive gestures. The most recent transmission still burned in his memory. A high-ranking Orbital Collective diplomat had openly mocked human technological capabilities during a universal broadcast. Humans are nothing more than children playing with sticks and stones, the alien had declared, its multi-tentacled form writhing with contempt. They cannot even manage their own planetary ecosystem, let alone understand the complexities of interstellar diplomacy. Jay remembered the silence that followed. The other alien representatives had laughed, a sound that translated across species as a universal language of ridicule. Some had multiple mouths that opened in synchronization. Others produced electronic vibrations that mimicked laughter, but the message was clear. Humanity was considered irrelevant. But beneath the surface of this apparent weakness, something was brewing. Earth's scientific communities had been working in absolute secrecy. While alien civilizations believed humans were technologically stunted, research facilities buried deep within mountain ranges and underwater complexes were developing technologies that would soon change everything. The research vessel Horizon was more than just a scientific platform. It was a silent observer, collecting data, monitoring alien communications, and serving as a hidden transmission hub for humanity's most classified projects. Every insult, every moment of ridicule was being carefully documented and analyzed. Unili, the ship's intelligence officer, sat at her complex communication array. Her fingers moved with precision, decoding and analyzing thousands of alien transmissions simultaneously. She had a personal mission: to understand deep beneath the frozen mountains of Antarctica, humanity's most secret military research facility hummed with quiet intensity. Admiral Hyun Kim walked through the sterile white corridors, his footsteps echoing against walls that held generations of technological secrets. The Dreadnought project wasn't just another military development. It was humanity's ultimate response to years of galactic ridicule. Engineers worked in sealed chambers, developing quantum entanglement weapon systems that defied everything known about physics and space combat. Su Jin, the chief lead engineer, stood before massive holographic displays showing complex weapon schematics. Her team had discovered something extraordinary, a way to create weapons that could simultaneously strike multiple targets across different dimensional planes. Each blueprint represented years of hidden research, computer simulations, and breakthrough technologies that would make current alien weaponry look like primitive toys. The facility was divided into multiple underground levels. Some sections focused on adaptive hull technologies that could absorb and redirect energy impacts. Others developed AI-driven tactical networks capable of processing combat scenarios faster than any known biological or artificial intelligence in the galaxy. Funding for the project came from a secret global consortium. Every major world government had quietly contributed, understanding that this was humanity's chance to prove its worth. Satellite communications were encrypted, research teams were isolated, and not a single detail had leaked to the outside world. Tai Quan, the primary navigation specialist, worked on hyperspace jump calculations that would allow the Dreadnought fleet to appear and disappear without traditional movement signatures. His algorithms were so complex that even quantum computers struggled to fully comprehend them. The facility's power source was equally revolutionary: a compact fusion reactor that generated more energy than entire alien planetary systems. This wasn't just military technology. It was a complete reimagining of human technological capabilities. In another section, the first alien attack came without warning. Massive battleships from the Orbital Collective emerged from hyperspace near Earth's outer colony on Europa, their weapon systems primed to eliminate what they considered an insignificant human settlement. Navigator Tao Quan watched the incoming signals with cold precision. His fingers moved across the holographic controls, calculating responses faster than any biological system could process. The Dreadnought fleet, which had been waiting in carefully concealed positions, began to activate. 50 massive ships materialized simultaneously, using quantum entanglement technology that allowed them to appear across multiple spatial coordinates. The alien commanders' communication networks immediately erupted in confusion. These weren't the same vulnerable human vessels they had encountered before. Each dreadnought carried weapon systems that seemed to defy fundamental laws of physics. Energy beams struck multiple targets at once, bypassing traditional defensive shields as if they were made of paper. The Orbital Collective's most advanced battleships began disintegrating within seconds of engagement. Su Jin's adaptive hull technologies proved their worth instantly. Incoming alien weapon fire was not just blocked but absorbed and redirected. Where previous human ships would have been destroyed, these new vessels simply transformed enemy attacks into additional energy reserves. Captain Jub Park's voice remained calm across fleet communications. "Execute Protocol Genesis," he commanded. The words sent a signal that transformed the entire engagement from a defensive operation to a strategic offensive. The human ships moved with a synchronization that suggested a collective intelligence. Each vessel anticipated enemy movements. The Dreadnought fleet's initial strike was merely the beginning. Within days, humanity's technological superiority became brutally apparent across 3 galactic sectors. Intelligence Officer Yuna Lee monitored communication networks as entire alien defense systems collapsed like fragile glass structures. The Quantum Dominion was the first to realize the true extent of human capabilities. Their centuries-old battle networks, which had dominated galactic conflicts for generations, became completely ineffective against the Dreadnought's adaptive technologies. Entire planetary defense grids went dark within hours, their most advanced systems rendered completely useless. Alien communication channels became a cacophony of panic and disbelief. Military commanders who had once laughed at human technological limitations now watched in horror as their most sophisticated weapons were neutralized with terrifying efficiency. The human fleet moved like a precise surgical instrument, dismantling military infrastructure with calculated precision. Taekwon's navigation algorithms allowed dreadnought ships to predict and counter enemy movements before the alien commanders could even conceptualize a strategic response. Each human vessel seemed to have an almost prescient understanding of spatial dynamics, striking critical infrastructure with mathematical perfection. The Stellar Confederation attempted a desperate counterattack, launching their most advanced battle groups. Within minutes, these supposedly invincible fleets were reduced to scattered debris. Energy weapons developed by Su Jin's engineering team could simultaneously target multiple enemy vessels, creating a web of destruction that seemed to defy traditional combat logic. Captain Jeb Park observed the unfolding scenario with a calm that bordered on detachment. Years of ridicule had prepared humanity for this. The aftermath of humanity's sudden technological ascension transformed the entire galactic political landscape. Diplomatic channels that had once been channels of mockery now became platforms of desperate negotiations and cautious respect. Admiral Hyun Kim led the first interstellar peace conference. Alien representatives who had previously laughed at humanity now sat in trembling silence, their once proud civilizations reduced to desperate supplicants. The conference hall, a massive neutral station constructed in deep space, felt heavy with the weight of changed expectations. The Orbital Collective's primary diplomat, a creature with multiple translucent appendages, requested terms of surrender. Its communication translator vibrated with a mixture of fear and reluctant respect. Humanity's demands were surprisingly measured, not total destruction, but a complete restructuring of galactic power dynamics. Yuna Lee, now serving as the primary human diplomatic strategist, presented a series of non-negotiable conditions: open technology exchanges, complete demilitarization of certain contested sectors, and recognition of human technological sovereignty became the fundamental framework of the new agreement. Captain J. Park stood silently behind the diplomatic delegation, a living symbol of the transformation. His presence alone was enough to remind the alien representatives of their recent defeat. The technologies that had been developed in secret were now partially revealed, sending shockwaves through every advanced civilization. The most surprising element was humanity's restraint. Instead of seeking complete annihilation, they sought understanding and controlled cooperation. This approach confused the alien civilizations even more than their military defeat. Su Jin's technological innovations became the new standard across multiple galactic sectors. Research facilities that had once ignored human contributions now desperately sought collaboration. The quantum entanglement weapon systems and adaptive hull technologies became objects of intense study. Tai Quan's navigation algorithms were particularly fascinating to alien scientific communities. His computational models suggested possibilities of space travel and dimensional interactions that challenged everything known about cosmic movement. The final diplomatic document was simple and direct. 3 words captured the essence of humanity's message: "We are here." As the conference concluded, the galaxy understood a fundamental truth. Humanity was no longer a species to be underestimated. They were a force to be respected, studied, and carefully approached. The stars themselves seemed to whisper a new narrative. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same again.